man of the masses.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mayegun diary politico.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come. Oh, yeah, yeah.
This one not day off in mind.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come. Oh, yeah, yeah.
My people make you shout.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mayegun that come man of the masses.
Yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mayegun diary politico.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come. Oh, yeah, yeah.
This man not day off in mind.
Yeah, yeah. Mayegun don't come. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun diary, diary politico.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀
Thank you so much for joining me. Share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them that Mayegun today.
Àwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Yeah.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ra kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ra kì í.
Mayegun ti dé.
A very quick one.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
So the newcomers, or let me say the new subscribers or new followers of Mayegun's Diary Political's broadcasts, there are tricks for you to understand how some of these things work, okay? Number one, it is a medium that you can say free thinkers, people who kind of want to have the mind of their own, but in doing so, they want to understand the complexity of Nigerian politics and how much it affects us. So in the process, when Mayegun is live, when you are watching live, if you join us live, we don't just start. We allow people to join. And that is when you see a full video of that will be for hours, like 3 hours. Then if you have to watch the replay of Mayegun's videos, they are in different segments. The live broadcast is what I'm doing right now, which you are going to watch a replay of, like a premiere. A premiere is the aftermath of a live broadcast that could be up to 3 hours. But a premiere is a cut out of the past broadcasts, right? And they can be up to an hour each. Now, if you are watching any of this, any of Mayegun's video, and you are not watching live, the ideal thing is to fast forward it. Any part you feel like, no, I don't understand what he's talking here, you can fast forward it. That's the point. But if you are watching live, you are never going to be so angry that I'm wasting my data. Oh, well, it's playing too much music. because we have to. And that's exactly what we are doing right now. So share the broadcast and invite others. That's it. And once again, good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us from. And if you have taken your time to read the rider, which is the header of this broadcast, or the description, which is the body of this broadcast, good enough, because I'm going to be taking them piece by piece. Tonight, like I said before, we know why Nigeria is not working. The politicians who are going to tell you many things you want to hear, right? They know why Nigeria is not working. Now, if to make Nigeria work, right, it will have to start from, do you really want to be a Nigerian or part of Nigeria? Let's throw that question to everybody. Now, if everyone have to agree that, oh yeah, we want to still be part of Nigeria, under what condition and arrangement? Something that you can all agree, if there is any at all. Now, that process is what the politicians are modeling up to what they call restructuring. However, there are other pointy issues right now that ordinarily, if the level of poverty in Nigeria hasn't been skyrocketed the way it has become, yeah, there are some certain problems that should be the reasons why you should know if you want to have an election or if you really want to have a discussion if Nigeria should continue or not. Issues like the destroyed economy, you know that everyone is feeling the pang of that, the level of poverty, right? But apart from that, you see this issue of insecurity in Nigeria, terrorism in Nigeria, the enablers, and the backers of the terrorists in Nigeria who are actually in government in Nigeria. The roles they have been playing in the last 7 years are enough signals to give you a bit of restlessness. Every day you wake up and they tell you you are still a Nigerian in Nigeria. Now, that may be a little bit too blunt, but I have my reasons, and I'll tell you them. You know the terrorists are there, and if anybody is denying that, well, I mean, terrorism is a global problem, right? Fine. In Nigeria, terrorism became an industry when APC, Egbekegbe, came in. That is a fact. Now, it is also a fact that under APC, Egbekegbe, there is no law that has been used to try any of the arrested terrorists. Rather, they have used a backdoor arrangement to give the terrorists free pass, and it is called Operation Safe Corridor. Now, that alone is enough for you to question the involvement of every region of Nigeria that knows that they are stakeholders in Nigeria to question their further existence with this Nigeria without that conversation. Do you get that now? Now, not just that, they are also making efforts to promulgate laws that is going to placate the terrorists, kind of appeal to them, make them comfortable so that they can stop killing us. They are making laws for that. Now, listen, that's not just what they're doing. They are making laws to cede the land of Nigeria, the land of the people of Nigeria, from every part of Nigeria. By that law, you will cede your land, and if you resist, you will be committing a crime. Now, using the instrumentality of this fraudulent arrangement to muzzle everybody from every part should be enough for everybody to be asking questions. Why do we want to have an election when all of these things are here? In fact, what are these guys saying about all of this? What are they offering to now ruin everything, they have a bill they call Water Wheel Bill, yeah, which is going to give the control of Nigeria waters, all the water in Nigeria, river, ocean, anything. It will come to the control of the federal government of Nigeria, even though they actually control it right now. Whatever you want to do on any kind of water in Nigeria, without them, you'll be called a pirate and you'll be committing a crime. But that is not what that law is not giving them what they wanted. They wanted more. And what is that? Waterway Bill, which will now give them 10 miles land. You see, if your water, for example, in Lagos, your water stops here, Babish, stop here. Now you will now count 10 miles. That's about 14 to 15 kilometers of land. It will no longer be the land of anybody, the indigenous people of that part of Nigeria. It will no longer be yours. It will now be the properties of Nigeria, and they can do whatever they want with it, including resettling these terrorists that they are placating. So that should be normally something you'll be like, we need to talk. The people from the eastern part of Nigeria, when they are talking about Nigeria, although they've told us so, they are not in any, they don't want to be in any negotiation. They want everything. It is theirs. They want Biafra. Well, let's say you want them to be involved in this conversation at all, not election. No, they will be discussing. If they are still comfortable with the thieving, stealing of their natural resources, including the political demarcation of their people, just to keep Nigeria one. You see, all these important issues will be in the front. But today they are promising you food. They are promising you they will pay you money. Don't worry. All you have to do is give us your vote. They are promising you electricity. They are promising you everything they've been promising you. They promised your parents, possibly. Well, they did. Nevertheless, the Christian Association of Nigeria, who have been in the last few years under APC, Egbekegbe, they have been those, I wouldn't say Christian Association, I would say those who have faced most religious persecution, including killing, murder, including ethnic cleansing, and in fact, village communities and all that destroyed. Up north, down south, it will be the Christians in Nigeria. Apologies to others if they feel like, but everybody is feeling it. Of course, everybody is feeling everything. Everybody have their own share of how Nigeria is happening to them. But there's something. Before APC, Egbekegbe came in, there was this rumor that they were going to Islamize Nigeria. Okay? Islamizing Nigeria means that all institutions, all important institutions in Nigeria will be led by trusted Muslims. Now, that sent shivers down the spine of so many Christians in Nigeria, and it became a topic of conversation before 2015. But push forward, APC came in. Rather than us see Islamization the way they told us they were going to do it, what we figured out is that industrialization of terrorism in Nigeria and the effort of Nigerian APC government to make sure that all of us are silenced. They started making laws that makes it a crime to even talk about all this terrorism and their sponsor, their backers. It became crime that you could go to jail for. It became crime that media houses have now been gagged from even reporting this treasonable crime that APC have committed. But nevertheless, they still came with Muslim ticket, especially, the man called Shitty Man. With a ticket, they called Bat Shit. Now, Bat Shit ticket has further made some, section, or should I say, some section of religious circle, including Muslims, to be a little bit like, Omo, it be like, say, this thing is no longer like This is no longer about what Islam taught you about fairness, equity. But these criminals, they pick the part that said, you must only be led by a Muslim. You must never be led by any other person with any other religion because they are called infidel. Now, you see these criminals, that is the one they pick. They rejected the one that says you have to be fair, you have to be equal, you have to, you know what I mean? Like, if you can't, do not present yourself for the position of leadership. That's what Islam said, Abi. Islam also said that you should not be led by infidels. Now, Nigeria is not an Islamic country. Do you understand? But somehow, they were able to say, even Tinubu, Kolu, who is Alaji Kolu, Alaji Tinubu, his own type of Islam coming from southern part of Nigeria is so disrespected, not trusted, that they had to force him that if you want to win our trust, you will need to pick an extremist, Shetima. Yes, he has history. His history is so threatening. In fact, with what you have in package, so many of you will glorify Bokuwari in another 6 months after bad shit, Shetima and Kolu comes in. But under that political arrangement for electoral victory, without any kind of consideration for the type of country they have led in the last 7 years, divided, poor, indebted, terrorized, yet, they still went for Muslim tickets. Now they have to use all their time to explain that you should not be scared. Don't be afraid. Don't be, you are not going to be killed. Don't worry. I am the Muslim. I am the president. I will be the president, all that stuff. Now, a lot of fair play have been, including hiring fake bishop, in order to make the outlook, the optic look like it is not a problem. But ladies and gentlemen, Muslim tickets, no matter what this hungry, what do they call them? Hungry belly lecturers are telling you on social media, it is a big issue. But according to Tinubu, ladies and gentlemen, whatever money cannot do, more money will do it. Do you understand? Now, being an issue, a big one, Tinubu called a meeting with the Christian Association of Nigeria, right? And that's exactly what he has to reassure them. Listen, I understand your worry. I understand your fear. I understand that this shitty man, this guy, he don't do you shaggy when he was governor. We've seen what they have done, including how much. In fact, you know what? Don't worry. I promise you. Please, I'll show you all of that too. But that's not just what we'll talk about tonight. The other part of what we'll talk about tonight is Atiku meeting the businessmen in Lagos and what were the point of conversation. Again, I'll share them with you. Very lengthy, but we'll bring them in by him. We look into them and his responses. Again, please pay attention to the usage of words. I don't know if I am that kind of person who pays so much attention to not what people say, right? But how they say them and the words or the wordings of what they say. They are more important than just blah, 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 that you want to hear. So therefore, I'm going to share that with you tonight. Here is another development, right? Even though, as we see, they have told the obedience that they are just mob without head, mostly on social media. However, ladies and gentlemen, we're asking ourselves, normal, Showore, our own vintage Showore, with AAC. They are making inroad and pushing that Showore wants to be president. You have Kwakwanso, who is also pushing that he wants to be president. You have Kola Abiola. We have this other guy, Adebayo. And you have more than 10 or 18 presidential candidates. But somehow, this OB that they said has no structure, is going nowhere. We all believe that it is all going to end in BLLB, blah, 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 B. But somehow, they are mostly the targets of the political gaslighting for your 2023 charade. And it is concerning, especially for us who know the root cause of most of these things coming up. And we are praying and hoping that most of you are, or all of you are obedient. You will see why this gang up is happening. And in fact, you will now probably leverage on what you called your number, which they control. If you have to use that to run them out of town, you can't. They control the number. Now, if you can then know why they have to stop you in your own democracy, and at the same time use that number to run them out of town, then maybe, just maybe, it will be worth it. But why are they so too concerned about you? Why is everybody so always like any small thing obedient to be anything? You know what I mean? They said it's a distraction. I agree. Then I got some few clips of people. They are now having viewing centers for OB, where people are now queuing to watch OB like they are watching football match. And I'm like, even if that will not make you make OB president, even though you believe you can, when they twist you and rob you, eventually they would, right? Would you just disappear, or you will use that number to say never again? That is why somehow I'm interested in you and what you are doing. Somebody asked me, he said, why are you not, why don't you just pick one of your candidates? I was like, I don't have any candidate in your charade. I don't. But do you know why I have to talk more about the happenings there to everybody, no matter what you believe in, right? And why I have to use their actions, right, to justify why Nigeria is breaking, and to make you understand, most importantly, understand why many of us, for so many reasons, right, believe that Nigeria won't work again. The foundation of this platform is called Mayegun's Diary Politico. Have you ever thought of what could that politico mean? I'll tell you tonight. My position is, if Nigeria was a country, I shouldn't be waiting, talking to you as Yorubas right now, why we need Yoruba nation. It shouldn't be tough, but Nigeria it's not a country. And fine, we all admitted to that. But politics, I'm not interested in politics. Politics is just nonsense. Who is asking you to join politics? How about you understand how politics affects you and affects your life, and how much Nigerian politics, past and present, has affected your life and pushed you to where you are today? Whether you can afford to live and succeed, like whether you can afford to live in the hardship of Nigeria today. When they ask you the story, your story, you will figure out and realize how politics, political decisions, political criminals, from your local government to your state, from your state to the federal, and everywhere they are deciding over what will happen to you, even though you are not interested in politics. You don't give a damn about it. Or I don't even understand it. But you have to. And that's why you have Mayegun's Diary Politico today. And this is it. If you are born, if government, in wherever you are born, didn't say you are born with a birth certificate, you are not what? You don't exist officially. If you are dead, or when you die, if the government does not issue a death certificate that says you are dead, officially you are not dead. Now, the type of people who then control that government, they come from ragtag criminals, career criminals, who formed career groups that they give name to, and they call them political parties, filled with different kind of rogues and they call them politicians. Now, without politics, there will be no politicians, whether in uniform or whether in agbada. It is all politics that eventually lead to governance, and decision made by government affects you and your life. Now, how did I know that? I got to know that when they talk about, when government comes into place, the wealth of the land is totally in their control. And with a mechanism called system, a government system, with that mechanism, they can direct where the wealth should be, how the wealth should be distributed, which areas should be poor, and which people should be wealthy, and that stuff. And that's how powerful government is. So if you have that idea before, then you would then have to be interested in the type of people that hold such positions over your life. They have as powerful as they are, they have the power to take your liberty away. Yes, and put you somewhere. They have the power to kill you without any remorse. That is what is called politics, whether you are interested in it or not. And in politics, it is a bit complex too, which is not complex, by the way. Religion is also politics. Politics create politicians. Politicians create government. Government make policies. Policies that is all about control. In Nigeria, you have the cold-hearted chronic capitalists. You are practicing chronic capitalism. Right here in your life, you are telling the history of how they are sharing your resources. Who owns your oil well? Who owns the oil rig? Who owns this? Who is that? In your lifetime, that is the power of the government controlled by criminals. So Mayegun's Diary Politico, therefore in existence, want you to know that in a situation where you now have criminals controlling your government, making policies that are creating poverty, killing people, affecting you directly and indirectly, whether you are living in Nigeria or you are outside Nigeria, it touches you every now and then. And guess what? It has also created so much imbalance that is now tearing the country apart. Religion, ethnic, and then class, and so many other things that have made people to turn Nigeria into a jungle, the survival of the fittest. Now that Nigeria you have today is the creation of the politicians of yesterday and their politics, politicians of today and their politics, that you are alive today and you are watching Mayegun's Diary Politico. It will make you understand that when you now have an unjust system where injustice is the order of the day, it will never create unity. It will never bring progress. It won't give you peace. Even if you think you have peace, guess what? What you are experiencing is called the peace of the graveyard. Now, in that whole chaotic system, then you begin to see people who are going to say, okay, we don't want to be part of it anymore. We want to go different way. Injustice created by an unjust system, which is the textbook definition of Nigeria. Now, Mayegun's Diary Politico, I, as a person, I have my belief, I have my faith, and I also have my dream. Even if you gag me, even if you torture me, and you ask me one simple question, Nigeria or independent Yoruba nation, I will repeat the same thing. You are giving me a choice. Oh, thank you very much. I will choose B, Yoruba nation. But before that happens, or if that will happen or not, how that will happen or not, the politics of Nigeria will determine it, right? Until it happens, everything you do in Nigeria, every decision you make, whether they pay you, whether you are too poor to fight, Everything that you are doing right now, whether it is for APC, whether it is for PDP, whether it is for Labour Party, whoever takes the control of the governance in Nigeria, they will do us one thing. It doesn't matter where you belong. It is the same shege, because it is the system, a system that you and I never agreed to. I didn't see anywhere we agreed to this. But you see, when an election like this or their charade is coming up, conversation like this should encourage people to say, what will be the purpose? In fact, what is the purpose of, you know what I mean? The election is rigged, is monetized, and eventually it's going to be bought by the highest bidder. The poverty is going to remain, and the lamentation will continue. And guess what? The injustice will remain. And guess what as well? The fear of when is Nigeria going to break up is never going to leave us. Sorry that I had to do so much talk right there. I couldn't do it the better time. Other than that, however, like I said, they're having a conversation around it. You can please pay attention to the way they are saying them and what you think. And at the end of the day, you probably will be able to say, this sounds good, but the body language doesn't make any impression to me. Say, I could trust them. Then the question that will come out is, what are we then going to do? It is same answer. Please stop trying. Stop speaking grammar. Stop researching this or that, trying to save Nigeria. It has been so mismanaged to the point that trust is dead. Nobody trusts anybody anymore. To bring back anything at all, it will be, why don't you go with, what is that system called again? There is a system where everybody will be doing their own thing, like that former regional system, and there will be no reason or anything impressive about being Nigeria president or Nigeria prime minister. I mean, have a conversation like that. If you will never have it, if they say Nigeria, whatever, is non-negotiable, and you believe them, no wahala. I've got a few things to share with you. So because of so much I have here, I'm going to be mixing them. Okay, I'm going to put them all together, right? Which is that first, let's see what Atiku had to say concerning the Constitution of Nigeria when he met with businessmen in Lagos just about 24 hours or so ago. Okay, so if you have the time, this is us. We have started. Share this broadcast, okay? Like the broadcast. That is your offering, right? And subscribe onto my YouTube channel, just Mayegun's Diary Political on YouTube. Subscribe and check your notification that when you set your notification, just click all. So many people said they are not receiving notifications lately. Please check your settings, okay? On your phone, on any device you watch Mayegun on, right? Just go on there, click on the notification setting, that bell, that agogo, koro, click on the notification setting and check if your notification is set at all at the top of it, and click that. You will never miss Mayegun. It's very quick. Do that, please. I told you, it's very easy. Leave the chat room, go on there, check for Mayegun, or search for at Mayegun's Diary Political Official. YouTube, go on to YouTube, search for at Mayegun's Diary Political Official. So, Atiku, ladies and gentlemen, and there's something you should notice. Atiku know they read. Okay, I'll let you see. Listen to this first.
Should go to the states, EFG should go to the local governments, and so on and so forth. It's going to be a subject of negotiations between the various component parts of this country. But all what I can assure you is President Atiku Abubakar, I will make sure that this constitutional issue is resolved. The specifics you are looking for in your question cannot be answered if you look at our constitution, because they are constitutional details. So I hope I have done a little bit of justice to your question.
Yes.
I can sit down there.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Your Excellency. I was actually saying that if you continue to stand up, all of us will stand up and join you. Because it will be against protocol culturally for us to sit down while you're standing up. But because this is an adult, you're an applicant, so you have to stand up. You need that. No, we don't want you to need that, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. So thank you for the answer. The second follow-up question is about the structure, the cost of governance in Nigeria. Many people believe that it's too high. And you're also aware that we have the Orosanye report that recommends for the downsizing of the size of government. The question is, how and when will you reduce the cost of governance? And will you implement the Orosanye report, and when? Will it be in your first year, second year, third year, or fourth year? Or will you leave it for another government? Thank you, Your Excellency. Let me also say, as Your Excellency is preparing to answer the question, that we have about 20 questions we want Your Excellency to answer. And we believe that this will be answered in an hour, 15, 20 minutes. They are related questions, but we will try. As he said, he's applying to be the CEO of a company with 200 employees or 200 million shareholders or 200 million employees. Your Excellency, on the issue of Orosanye report. Thank you.
Again, I may want to draw your attention to the fact that it was our administration that set up the Orosanye committee. I, for one, believe in small government. When the Republican Party came from the United States, they came to visit me, and I told them the kind of government I want. One of them said, but you are even more Republican than we are. Because I said, there is too much government in our life. I want a small government, an effective one, a government that gives directives, that establishes policy guidelines for the component parts of the country. So first and foremost, at least I want you to give credit to the PDP for setting up the Orosanye report. But unfortunately, the government white paper that came out after PDP left office, the views in the white paper were not in conformity with the main report itself. And it is understandable. Who are the people who normally draft the white paper? It is the top civil servants. And of course, you will expect them to protect the interest of the large and wealthy federal bureaucracy that we have. So, what I believe is that yes, the Orosanye report is a good report, but then the white paper of the report is not in conformity with the spirit behind setting up the Orosanye report. If I have